Okay, it's been a while since we did a collection pickups update thing, which I'm well past the 30-day return window on a lot of this, so let's hope it's all correct. Welcome back, everyone, to another collection update, and this is where I just show you some of the games I've been buying. Some of them are new. A lot of them are going to be older, retro, things that I'm trying to add to my collection. And this one, it's been a while, right? But I'd say this is about the same amount of games that I normally buy, because one of them is insanely expensive. But we always do new first, so let's do this, the Amazon Prime stuff. I try to avoid Amazon nowadays for new games, but sometimes I just don't feel like going to pick up something at a local store. So this one, oh, that was on sale. Trover Saves the Universe. Sometimes this is the result of following Wario64 on Twitter, where he tweets out something, it's as low as like $10, $12, $13. I think this was like $13. You can't help it. But I did actually want to pick up some more PSVR stuff, because I don't even have like one row complete, which one row for me I think is 21 games on my shelf. So I do not have one row of PSVR games actually complete. So, and this is, Rick and Morty. The Rick and Morty game was funny, like really hilarious. That and, what was it called? Accounting Plus. If you have a PSVR, play Accounting Plus. It's going to be the most fun 1.5 to 2 hours that you'll have in a long time. I can't talk, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm skipping over my words like crazy. But then again, I was never really an eloquent speaker. I speak too fast. It's my problem. I try to slow down. Hey, there's my Alan Wake, which I knew the disc was going to be loose on this one. I absolutely knew it. But that's fine. I'm going to open this anyway. You hate to see it. I actually never played this on Xbox 360. It's one that I always wanted to get to. It was really surprising when Remedy was able to get back the rights to Alan Wake. That was pretty big news. And once that news came out, it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna ship that. You know, whether it's a standard HD port or they're gonna do. See, I can't talk today. Whether it's a standard port or a full-on remaster, or I guess we'd call it a remake. Well, it says remastered. But sometimes if they go back and really redo visuals, that's where the lines are blurred between what's a remaster and what's a remake. I'd say it's bordering on remake. There's a decent amount of it done to it. Oh, this is silly. This is the result of some late night eBay hunting. Yes. You are looking at 2 copies of I Spy on Game Boy Advance, and they're new. And here's the background behind this. First up, these were like, it says $20. I don't know if that's I don't remember if that's what I paid, because again, some of this has been sitting for a bit. But it was cheap enough for me to be like, wow, it's so cheap for a brand new GBA game, which, depending on like how cruddy or shovelware-esque the game is, like there's plenty of brand new GBA games for, $15, $20. But this game, it's here's how much of a absolute nerd, loser, whatever you want to call me. Here's how much I am of that. When I was in school, we would have like that book fair every 3-4 months, or maybe it was annual. But they'd send you a catalog at home that you would flip through, and your parents would give you some spending money on like what book you might want to get. And in whatever year it was, in that book was I Spy Challenge. And of course, it didn't matter that I didn't necessarily care to play this game. I used my money to get this and not books. So I did play this. And I enjoyed it. I mean, who didn't like the I Spy books? They're fun. So I got one to open and use and one to keep sealed, which, you'll see in a second for the other game, which, come on, we have to save that for... We're not going to jump into it right away. This game is my PlayStation Vita copy of Minecraft. I felt like I was going to say more. Minecraft PlayStation Vita Edition. I guess that'd be what you'd want to say. You really got to put a sticker on it. This is the only way to get a Minecraft cart version of on PS Vita. And I'm trying to collect more for Vita, but the prices are just so insane, man. It's getting to the point where anything on Vita is expensive. Anything. Maybe like the Lego stuff's kind of cheap. If it's cheap, it's like you're never gonna play it. And that's like the reality of Vita, where it did so bad at retail that all those games now, all of them, are just so expensive. Don't even try to buy limited run games unless you were there when you bought them for what limited run was charging you back then. It's nuts. Oh, yeah, I did get this too. Crash Bash, Black Label. This is honestly, and no exaggeration, one of my favorite PS1 games. One of my favorite party games. And I would love to see them remake this. I would kill, honestly, for a remake. Wow, that's a really nice PS1 game. Look at that. You can see the light perfectly. Which you can see how amateur my studio light setup is. It's not even like a... I mean, it's a studio-grade light, but there's no like box on it or anything like that. But I love Crash Bash. It's so fun. I actually did a Let's Play of this on my channel years ago when I used to do things like that. And that was like just so fun, man. It's a great party game. I really wish they would do a new one. Here we've got, oh yes! I was wondering what package this was in. Only Monica. If you have not played this game, I could not... Melissa's stepping all over the trash. I could not recommend it more. However, if you struggle with mental health, if you have certain triggers, I would avoid this. So not to give away too much, but this is the kind of game where you absolutely need to jump into it, even if you're not too into visual novels. And inside this case has a bunch of cool little trinkets and whatnot. So I was actually so happy when this was announced for PlayStation 5, and it was actually getting a physical release. Like, I never would have thought I'd be having or holding a physical copy of Doki Doki Literature Club on PlayStation 5. You know, it's just weird, but I'm glad that I have that. I wanted to actually play that for the 30 Platinums in 30 Days video, because I've already played it. So even though the Platinum is like 20-something hours, if you like actually sit there and read everything, I could just auto-skip through it because I don't need to pay attention to it, even though there is new stuff in there. Never got around to it. Oh, yes. And here's my copy of Bug Snacks, which... Thank you. It's airtight. This is actually staying sealed. Yep, I'm going there. It's one of those things where it was on PlayStation Plus. Already played it. I loved this game. Absolutely adored it. It was just so fun and charismatic, and you know, it just goes in certain places and directions you weren't thinking. It's just so creative, and big time. Big recommend. God, play it. I don't know why people are clowning on it so much when it was part of Sony's event. Which I guess that's kind of expected when there's any sort of game on there that's not a big budget AAA, high caliber God of War 17 coming out. I get it, but my God, play Bug Snacks. So good. So yeah, I wanted to actually get a physical copy and keep that sealed because it just means a lot to me. You know what, we're about the halfway point. Let's check out our monthly magazine from the Video Game History Foundation. See what we got this time. We're due for a Thousands magazine, so I'm guessing that's what this is. No, we got a GamePro. #1 video game magazine, Sonic and Knuckles. Oh my God, look at some of the headlines on this one. Mortal Kombat 2, Vortex, Maximum Carnage, Dynamite Stunt Race, Double Dragon, previews for Sonic the Hedgehog, Earthworm Jim, Virtual Fighter combos, Shaquille O'Neal and Shaq Fu. They're time capsules, man. It's just such a cool thing. Glad that we have this. Will not be opening that right now, but I am absolutely going to check that out later. No doubt, in my mind, I will be taking a look at that. I don't remember what some of these boxes are. Because, there's only, one thing in here that really needs a box. And, yeah, and by the way, it came like this. There was no seal. Look at how clean that is. So, well, I know something's in there, but like that's legitimately how this came. Okay, that's one way to do it. Ah, yes. First off, there's a shipping label in there. Danganronpa Trilogy. You know, this is one of those situations where, admittedly, I'm not, like, dying to play this. I'm not. But, you just have to know at this point, or you should certainly pick up on this fact, which is, if it's niche, if you know it didn't do that well, or if you know it just speaks to a smaller audience, if it was a PS Vita game at some point, I mean, you just have to know that certain games are going to hold their value, they're going to be hard to get, or they're going to go up in value. I would hate to someday finally play this and fall in love with it, and then when I want to buy a physical copy, it's, you know, $200, $300 something dollars. I am starting to be a bit mindful of situations like that, and so that's why I grabbed this now at retail, which was, I think, just your standard $60. Grab it now before it gets to that unrealistic level. And so even if I end up playing this and I don't really care for it or like it, at least I could easily sell it for probably more than what I paid for it. So this is definitely a circumstance where I'm interested, but I'm not dying to play it right away. All right, we'll stop teasing you. I believe it's this one. This game, it's one of my favorite video games. No, it's my favorite video game of all time. It's something that means a lot to me. And so even though it was a lot of money, there are certain things where if they mean that much to you, it doesn't, you know, the price is an afterthought, especially because I can't see this ever losing value or being less than what I paid for, right? So sure enough, this is going to go up. Complete in-box Pokemon Gold. I've probably said it in one of the other collection updates or something, but whenever I get asked about what my favorite games are, my favorite game ever, my favorite franchises, my go-to answer is top 3 franchises: Grand Theft Auto, Jak and Daxter, Pokemon. I think you all kind of have picked up on that at this point. Inside those franchises, it would be San Andreas, Jak 2, Pokemon Gold. But what is my absolute favorite? Yes, it would be Pokemon Gold. Played it as a child. It's just, you know what I mean? This is why I'm obsessed with Typhlosion. You might have seen like Typhlosion, you know, nods and references and things that I've, you know, had shirts for and whatnot. Also, I have the Japanese copy, which has actually got a little bit of dust on the top of it, but I do have this, and this one's actually already starting to rise in value a little bit because I paid like maybe $25 for this, and now it's like 80 or 100. I don't know. There's always going to be less demand for the Japanese copies because most people ain't speaking Japanese, so that's why those copies are a bit cheaper. NTSC though, yeah, you better believe this cost $280 something, nearly $300, which for the copy I got, I actually think I made out really okay because this was a brand new listing. Normally, if I'm going to spend that much money on something, I'm going to take a long time combing through listings, looking at the package, double checking the package, the high resolution pictures that the seller should have. But this one was a brand new listing. I mean, clearly it's got, you know, like some imperfections. That's just going to happen for something where it's a cardboard box that was sold over 20 years ago, and you know, God forbid somebody actually kept it and now they're selling it today. So this was a brand new listing. I had to make the decision fairly quick to grab this one, and I think I made the right decision. So because some of those listings are getting up to $300, $350 for conditions that are less savory than this one. And if you want to go new, which there are some that are new, you know, you're looking at $1,000, few grand, over $1,000 for sure. But I can't not do it. And the only scary thing now is I do have my favorite game of all time, but it's going to be even more expensive to get to the other one. So yeah, there's the eventuality that I want to complete the entire mainline series. That's going to suck because I can justify it here, but it's going to be tougher. It's going to be a lot tougher for leaf green, fire red, blue, yellow, red. You know, it's going to be crystal too. Crystal's even more. So it's not going to be cheap at all. but we'll get there eventually. It's an overtime sort of thing, right? I know it sometimes looks like I made a money, but I don't do these too often. I want to be a little bit mindful of being responsible and being an adult. Oh, I totally forgot about this one. Yeah, I ordered this a while ago. Yeah, it's like, I just ran into this on eBay. I'm like, what is this? So, this is a, like a Parappa and Ape Escape McDonald's promotion or something. I have no clue. It just says, Makodonado Originaru Happy Disc. And I don't know, like, I bought it and I didn't, like, research it. You know what I mean? Because I could easily figure out what it is. I want to save that and just, like, boot it up and, you know, mess around with it. So, yeah. Look, it has, like, just Ape Escape and Parappa stuff going on in there. I don't know. I mean, why not? Sometimes you just have to do spontaneous things like that. Especially because sometimes I like to give myself a reason to actually boot up the Japanese PS2. And this should be actually another Nihon game. More Vita. Oh, I forgot this was actually new. Persona 5 Dancing, the Japanese version. So again, I'm trying to work on some Vita stuff, and if it's reasonable, that's where I'll buy it, and I might be finding myself buying more Japanese Vita games because that's where it's affordable. But that's still going to limit the kind of games I can play on Vita because I'm not at all fluent in Japanese. But, you know, this is a lot. I mean, this is manageable, right? And I think this has a separate regional trophy list, so I can actually play this, earn another platinum, and so I think I might do that 1 or 2 hours, you know, overnight, and just have some fun with this. But I want to grab that one as well. There we go. It's not a ton, but I'm pleased with them all. And yeah, some recent stuff in there. I think coming up next, I'm going to be working on, again, if I can find Vita stuff that I'm willing to pay for, going to be buying some of that. Also really got to start working on the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, and more GameCube, which you've seen me pick up some GameCube here and there. Probably going to start really focusing efforts over there, and if I'm ever feeling spicy enough, we might grab another Pokemon or something, but for now at least, that's where I sit on these. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't just yet, please subscribe for the best PlayStation news, reviews, and updates that are here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mystic Ryan, and that is it. I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.